After more than 50 years in the anchor chair, legendary broadcast journalist Chuck Scarborough stepped down yesterday from anchoring the news at NBC4 New York, our neighbor in the building at 30 Rock. Here is Chuck's final sign-off from last night's 6 p.m. newscast.
Well, as you may have heard, this is my final broadcast as anchor of the evening news on NBC4 New York. First and foremost, I am profoundly grateful for your trust. Without that, I would not have survived for more than half a century in this job and been allowed to occupy this front row seat to history of our fascinating metropolis and the world beyond for so long. 4 months after I arrived in 1974, President Nixon, who won a landslide election just 2 years earlier, resigned, the first presidential resignation in the nation's history. In 1975, New York City plunged into effective bankruptcy, and the Vietnam War came to a chaotic end. The pace of breaking news has been relentless ever since. We've been through blackouts together, riots, crime waves, hurricanes, blizzards, economic crises, corruption, public and private, 9/11, wars, and a pandemic. But just as important were the stories of human achievement in the arts and sciences, of forgiveness, kindness, recovery, and resilience. If there is one overarching lesson I've learned, it is that. We are more resilient than we realize, individually and as a city and a nation. We get knocked down and we come back stronger. I will be eternally grateful for the privilege of working with so many dedicated, brilliant, and talented broadcast journalists on both sides of the camera, some risking their lives in dangerous places to bring you the news. In this age of algorithms and cable channels herding the citizenry into like-minded silos, of AI and social media fictions suffocating truth, it has never been more important to do what they do so well, hew to the basic principles of accuracy, objectivity, and fairness. I'm going to leave you now with a final thought I shared with my NBC colleagues earlier this year when they gathered in the Rainbow Room atop this building to celebrate my 50th anniversary with the National Broadcasting Company. Itself a quintessential American success story, founded by a Russian immigrant named David Sarnoff, who began by selling newspapers at age 15 to help support his struggling family. I urged my colleagues to do something I still do, to reestablish perspective, appreciation, a sense of mission. Walk out on Fifth Avenue and look back through the Channel Gardens, across the skating rink, above the statue, at this towering building with awe, and say, I work here. I work here, and this is important. And what I do is important. I work for the National Broadcasting Company, the oldest and largest television network in this country, with a storied history. Feel the weight of that history and the weight of the responsibility that we all bear to get it right, to do it well, to make it interesting. It's an honor to work with you. That message was aimed at our work here, the grinding challenges of daily news gathering. But it just as easily applies to our city and to our country and to all of us, all of you. We all need to lift our eyes occasionally from the political fevers and societal imperfections of the day and appreciate what we have, how far we've come, and the opportunity we've been given to continue our journey toward a more perfect union. Thank you, and good night.
The great Chuck Scarborough, his final broadcast with NBC last night after more than 50 years, and you see his beloved staff there walking in to congratulate him. You know, Mike Barnicle, first of all, he started in Boston, as you know, in 1972, before he moved to New York a couple of years later. I grew up in the New York area, grew up in New Jersey watching WNBC. My first memories of the news, of someone telling me what was going on in my state, in my area, and in the country, were Chuck Scarborough on Channel 4. And then it was Tom Brokaw would come on after that, and we'd watch Dan Rather. But it really was Chuck Scarborough, and it was Sue Simmons and the team at WNBC. A guy who has, boy, you listen to him talk about what he's seen in this city, spanning from Nixon's resignation to everything that's happening in the country today. A truly, truly extraordinary career. And at a time when words like legend and icon are thrown around cheaply, Chuck Scarborough lived up to it.
You know, Willie, you indicated correctly that Chuck came to New York City in 1974 he was the principal anchor at 6 and 11 and on Channel 7, I forget what network it was affiliated with back then, in Boston, Massachusetts. And he wasn't on the air in Boston more than 2 weeks when people would be talking about the new anchor, Chuck Scarborough. And wow, you knew he was going places, and it wasn't just going to be around greater Boston. And then he ended up in New York City, where, as he just pointed out, and you pointed out, for 50 years he has been the voice of news. And his departure is another indication, if you watch and pay attention to local news, which a lot of people do, obviously, that the news business has changed. There are very few Chuck Scarboroughs and Tom Brokaws left on the television landscape. There are people who come and go, but boy, the Chuck Scarboroughs and the Brokaws, but Chuck Scarborough specifically, locally, for 50 years, bringing people the message of what was going on in their world, their city, today. The word today always being used. A true professional, a gentleman, and kind of an iconic figure in terms of TV news nationally, Jonathan.
Yeah, no question there. What a storied, remarkable career. And as he talked about it in that speech there, he'd earned the viewers' trust. And that is something that's in short supply right now for the media, with the public, even though it's a time, at least, it's never been more important. And I know I worked for a decade in local news at the New York Daily News. It is so important for people to know what's happening in their city, in their town, in their state, in their neighborhood. And we have seen such a decline of local news, particularly on the print side across the country. But, you know, TV viewership, there's worries there as well. And it's just seeing Chuck go, Willie, is sort of like an end of an era in some way, but also emphasizes just how important these voices are and how important it is to earn the viewer's trust.
Yeah, he will be missed in the hallways of 30 Rock. There's a framed picture as we leave the studio every day of Chuck sometime in the 1970s with a great 70s suit and that great 70s hair, and that will hang forever because he is a Hall of Famer. And on a personal note, an encouraging word from him to me over the years has meant the world as someone who grew up watching him and admiring him. Congratulations, Chuck, on an absolutely incredible run.